I'm not going to say I told you so because no one can predict the future. But what I can say is that you can always prepare for it. And that's something that I always try to preach to my LPP team. I sent it out to our LPP traders that when Tesla was showing signs of resistance at 420 per share, even after my video today, right? The market can always try to hype up and pump for any given reason. Tesla didn't have any, yet it was still pushing from highs of 397 to highs of 420. And trust me, I'm a huge Elon fanboy myself. But again, if it smells like shit and it looks like shit, it is shit, right? Tesla fundamentally is not performing well. It's not growing at the rate that it was. And now the Federal Reserve announced that it's not going to be announcing any rate cuts anytime soon. That's not good for Tesla. And on top of that, the news that really caused Tesla and the rest of big tech to start selling off is these 25% tariffs that Trump plans to impose on Canada and Mexico imports. This is a phase in higher duties on a monthly basis. Now, everyone was supportive of this, and I am too. I truly am, right? I don't mind it because if it does, by implementing these tariffs, get rid of our federal income tax, I'm all for it. But it's kind of like common sense, right? Like, do you guys not understand what these tariffs are? This is the part that just really didn't make sense to me, why the market just started pushing up super aggressively out of nowhere, especially Tesla. For those that do not understand, yes, sure, Trump winning does potentially allow these money markets to perform better long term. But in the short term, when implementing these tariffs, what do you think is going to happen to our inflation rate? When you begin to implement these tariffs, the inflation rate is going to get passed down to the consumer, right? So therefore, we're going to see inflation go up. And then the Federal Reserve is going to have to deal with that. So yes, in the short term, there is going to be pain. And I think people are going to get very mad because it's not what they were promised. But again, I just think that people don't take time to understand what it takes to implement these tariffs in the short term and then obviously gain the benefit in the long term. So then people get surprised or they get caught off guard of, oh my gosh, why did the market begin to pull on back just because he announced these tariffs? Everyone knew that he had a tariff plan. So this shouldn't be a surprise, and it shouldn't be a surprise in the up and coming future. These tariffs are something that he plans to leverage and use for negotiation as, a country with other countries, and it seems to be working big picture. But we have to understand that they will impact the market in the short term. So when we see Tesla go from $420 per share all the way down to $400 per share, or the NASDAQ market from green to red, you cannot be surprised, especially when it didn't even really deserve to be up there. If you really begin to ask yourself, why was the market pushing up so much? Because of the weather? No reason. Tesla had no reason to be trading at $420 per share. Tesla missed its earnings per share and its revenue. It is doing so bad right now year over year. Its profit margins are slimming. And again, they have no plan to be able to combat this rate of the interest rate that we currently have to boost sales. Do we just expect sales to be bigger in 2025 for no apparent reason? It's like common sense. But again, everyone likes to get ahead of themselves. They like to factor things in advance because Elon said so. And again, as a huge Elon fanboy, Elon's been talking about the Optimus robot for over 4 to 5 years. We've been talking about full autonomy for such a long time. This changes nothing because it's not implemented, nor is it something new because it's already been factored in. But the part that hasn't been factored in is a reality check for Tesla. It's currently trading at $400 per share, and there's huge retracement potential down to $200. I think it's going to be very interesting to see that when these money markets begin to experience the actual impact of these tariffs in the short term, we should see a downturn. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the Federal Reserve is maybe forced to cut interest rates more than what was originally expected to try to artificially pump our economy so it doesn't slow down so much. So again, I'm going to be really excited to follow up. I just wanted you guys to understand why the market pulled back so aggressively today. And hopefully you did your part in taking profits when you saw that there was a lack of progress. And hopefully you didn't continue to bag hold the position that simply didn't go according to plan, because that would simply just be greedy. So again, I hope to see you for our live trading session on Monday. If you want to tune on in, it's the second link in the description down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.